Hello, my name is Allison Madera, and this is my future predictions for education presentation. I wanted to keep my scope roughly within the next 20 years, but many of my predictions I hope to see within the next 10 years, but 20 seemed a bit more plausible. My first prediction I notice or hope to see in the near future for educational technology is that our classrooms are more learner-centered, and that would influence the way our classroom procedures unfold, as well as our classroom setup and how we deliver the information to our students, not being guardians of knowledge, but being more facilitators. The next prediction I make is that the problem of the digital divide with our students at school and at home will be addressed and diminished. My other prediction is increased learning simulations, not only ones created by teachers collaboratively, but also from students. And my last prediction is the expectation on digital skills our students have to be more taught in the formative years. So as they go through the education system, they have greater ease and familiarity of typing, editing, and using these tools. So my predictions about being learner-centered, we have to stop having the teacher at the front of the room and have the students more engaged and leading their learning and being more proactive in guiding their own learning. So teachers need to stop setting a narrow focus and expectation measuring how do students do well, so less rubrics, less rigid expectations, and students need to incorporate their input on the curriculum and instruction, deciding together what we need to do to prioritize their learning, to increase engagement and meaning in what they are learning. Teachers need to stop grading every single thing students hand in and assessing their ongoing practice towards their final grades. And students need to choose the project's purpose, and we need to see more of their input on the lesson and the product of their learning being represented in different ways, not just one avenue, such as one assessment, one survey, one written assignment. Teachers need to limit or stop being the guardians of knowledge and having students overly relying on them, and students need to start collaborating more with other students, not just within their classrooms, but in a global climate, online through chat rooms, message boards, YouTube channels, and they also need to begin creating their rubrics that they wish to be scored in on their projects and assignments. The digital divide is a very serious problem I hope to see a big difference on in the future, that we need to address the accessibility of technology to our students. So often we think of all the things that technology has incorporated into everyone's everyday lives, but there still is a huge gap in the amount of students who have capable technology at home and keyboards, so they can actually type and produce their own written assignments, because a smartphone is not as equitable as a Chromebook or a laptop. So some suggestions to end this digital divide would be bring your own device expectations, leasing programs, and the proper utilization of computers and STEM labs that we may or may not already have on our sites. Also, there needs to be more professional development for educators. Being in this program, I have learned so much already that my colleagues at work pick my brain, and it's something that honestly so many educators should have accessible to them already, whether or not they are getting a master's degree in educational technology. And lastly, we should also allow students to lead the technology in the classroom. So often students are familiar with applications or websites. They are the digital natives, and they can offer excellent input onto what digital devices and programs we use within our classroom. My next prediction is in regards to the advancement of learning simulations. This is something new that I'm hoping to see even much more of, because so often as a student, I would think about all the things that would visually illustrate what I am learning. So some of the multimedia presentations I'm talking about include, but are not limited to, Flowcabulary, TED Ed videos, Scratch coding, creating stories or presentations, and Powtoon, and the new innovation of virtual reality glasses or goggles, and virtual field trips. So many of these things that are just starting to blossom and bloom can go so much farther in the next 10 to 20 years and can offer really meaningful and impactful insights for our students to make visual connections of concepts that might be more abstract or harder to absorb. My last prediction I have is the expectation on our students' digital skills. So often we expect students to come up. I personally teach sixth grade, and I think about how many of my students do not know how to fluently type, but yet we expect them to draft, organize, and publish full-blown essays, but they're still typing with 1 to 2 fingers. So I think that that expectation needs to change rapidly as the amount of technological use our student has changes rapidly as well. So students, I'm not saying they need to know typing by the time they're in second grade, of course, but there should be some exposure so that way when they are moving forward in their educational career, they are ready and prepared appropriately to type, edit, basic search skills, and obviously coding, which has become more and more popular in the passing years. Thank you for watching my future predictions on education presentation. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at my Concordia online email. Thank you so much for watching.